Must be, well, there we go. It says, now I'm live. Okay. Good evening. Welcome to Investigator News. I'm your host, Ellie. And if you were on the last stream, it was blurry, so had to restart. So I'll take that one out and keep this one in. Boy, we have we have snow coming. We have a meteor that was spotted over in the UK. We've got Japan with an airplane crash. I'm not really going to talk about it here. Um, and the earthquakes. How about solar flares? Hi again. We got Susan uh, on our new one. There we go. Am I blurry? I hope not. Boy. Poor Karen. She's probably um, throwing popcorn. Nice and clear this time. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I don't know. It. I think it's. I think it's Ducky Stream. That's what I call it, Ducky Stream. It's called StreamYard. And I even tried to fix it with their settings, and lo and behold, it wouldn't let me do that. I have to check and see what they say. Uh, but I'm back. I'm not blurry. Well, you missed the blur. I don't know. Maybe I look better blurry. I don't think so. Nobody likes a blurry screen. And here we go, Miss Davis. Just in time, William, for Miss Davis and our weather and snow coming, even a little bit for us. We've been, I got to say, folks, we had an earthquake here. We've had snow already, but nothing, it usually between Thanksgiving and right around the 1st of January, we'll get a little bit, nothing that sticks. Sometimes it does. We get really super cold, like we're in the 20s at night, and it's like, why doesn't it snow? But now it is the season for the South to get their snow. Okay, sorry about that, Karen. But we want you to subscribe and share and hit the like button if you like our show. Ring that bell to make sure you're getting notified. And welcome always to the Hellions, Holes, and Poles.
Rounds of rain this week for the south, and that means this storm track, well, it's going to continue to create rain all along the south from west to east throughout the week. Today, the heaviest rain through Texas into Louisiana, and then as we go through the week, notice how that rain continues to inch to the east. So flooding could be a concern, especially back through Louisiana and Texas, where we're expecting some of the heaviest rain. Now, by midweek in some of the higher elevations, notice that snow, sleet. Yes, we could see some winter weather, but by and large, this is going to be a rain event this week. There's a look at the rainfall totals. Now, this is through Thursday, heaviest rain back through Texas and Louisiana.
Oh, well, I think I even got that clip for you guys. But you guys don't want to see that yet. No, latest earthquakes. Oh boy, we had one that was when I set this up down in Paragua, Puerto Rico, of a 3.3. The newest one that just now came up, Chiniak, Alaska. Karen, we have got one way off in the middle and between Russia and Alaska. It's listing it as Alaska, is Gamble, Alaska. That was a 3.7. How odd is that? Let me move this over a little bit. Of course, we had the ones in Japan. The aftershocks aren't really bad. They're 4s and 5s. What are we looking at? I listened to Dutch Sense this morning, and he seems to think that the ones that hit up in Iceland were in response as it going over to hit Japan. Now, I'm not, yeah, I agree with him. I really do. Um, Everything is so equally spaced today, folks. It's almost like another big one wants to hit. Now, we should be getting a 6. And I didn't see that, but we'll start down in Kapang, um, Indonesia. That was a 5.0. Then we go up to the Philippines. They got the 5.0. Um, Up around Alaska, very small. Um, 2.5s. Now, there was one that hit up in New York, a 1.9 that hit New York, and they felt it because they're so shallow, folks. These are earthquakes that are uh, 5 miles deep, 10 miles deep, and you'll be able to feel them. They said nothing swayed, nothing shook, but they could feel it. They could feel the earthquake. So that was way up in New York. It passed you up, Karen. I'm bound determined for you to feel a 7.0. Just go to your doorway. That's the thing. Hit your doorway and then out the door you go. You don't stay in the buildings. But don't go nowhere where things could be falling on top of you either. So, all right, we're going to move onward with Valdez, Alaska, 3.6. Then right around San Diego, it says, well, come on, move. It's not letting me get to my thing here. Okay, Anza, California, 2.6. And then we got a bunch of them over Toya, Texas, right next to it in Hermleigh, Texas, and then one in between, McKinney Acres, Texas, 2.5. These are shallow. Most of these I've just read are very shallow, 17 miles deep for up there around Alaska, 20 miles deep, 19 or 18 miles deep. These are very shallow. So what about the one down here in Nicaragua? That was about 32 miles deep. And that was a 4.1. Why is it shallow? Because you could feel them. And the deeper ones are the ones that's going to cause your tsunamis, according to Dutch sense. The shallow ones aren't really going to cause much of a tsunami. That's if it's in the ocean. Now, over here in Virgin Islands, we got a 3.9. Then way down here in Argentina, 4.8. See what? No 6.0s. The Mid-Atlantic Ridge, a 5.0. Then, oddly enough, over in Frain, Morocco, 4.6. Now, that's really odd. But we had them coming across. We had the one that was over in the Philippines. There was a 5.0. We go almost straight across. And we got one in Afghanistan, a 4.3. That was a deep one, 92 miles deep. And then we have one in Georgia. Now, Georgia, not in the United States, over in the closer to Ukraine and Russia. That was a 4.4. So where's the 6? So he said 5 to 7 days we could see another earthquake that's a 6 and above. So Karen, very odd indeed. Now, the deadly quakes that rocked Japan. Oh my goodness, folks. Let me get this going here.
A devastating series of.
And we got Miss Davis here with it. When I watched that, now the first I seen, it was a 7.8. And the way it was shaking was, wow. I remember when we had the one at a 7.0. Now, William said, remind everybody that for each time it goes up, it's 10 times the strength. So you're looking 10 times more each point on the Richter scale that it goes up. So when it shook. I mean, it created cracks and sinkholes and 2 tsunamis, they say. Now, we have a solar flare at the last couple days, very strong ones. Was that the cause? And the other thing to note, and William reminded me of, is this is on the other side of Japan from Fukushima. So don't think of Fukushima was in the middle of all this. So um, here, I'm going to go ahead and put Miss Davis up here with the earthquake in Japan.
A devastating series of earthquakes struck western Japan, leaving at least 48 people dead and causing significant destruction. A powerful magnitude 7.5 quake hit the region on Monday. Aftershocks rattled the area following the quake, bringing the total count of tremors to over 100. According to Japanese media, tens of thousands of homes were destroyed. Besides toppling homes, the quake triggered landslides, capsized boats, and sparked a fire that burned an entire section of one city. Essential services like water, power, and cell service were disrupted, and many residents face uncertain futures. Despite the devastation, Japan's preparedness has mitigated some damage. The U.S. Geological Survey says they expect up to 100 deaths, with damage exceeding $1 billion. Rescue efforts are underway, and the Japanese military was deployed to assist. The U.S. has also offered support. Located along the Ring of Fire, Japan is prone to earthquakes, but those quakes are most common on the east coast of Japan's main island.
So you see, wow, huh? Some of that parts of the city almost look like it's been through a war. Uh, Very devastating, folks. Um, let's see if I can. Okay, let me see if this will go.
A new year typically signals a fresh start, but for Japan, 2024 begins with a tremor. A powerful 7.6 magnitude earthquake has struck the central region, a chilling reminder of the country's seismic vulnerability. The quake's epicenter was in the coastal Noto area in Ishikawa Prefecture, a region now bracing for waves as high as 5 meters. Japan's national broadcaster NHK has issued a major tsunami warning, with the word evacuate flashing across public televisions, urging residents to flee to higher ground. The winter weather adds an extra layer of challenge, but the urgency is palpable. There are also tsunami warnings for neighboring Niigata and Toyama prefectures, where waves could reach as high as 3 meters. As residents scramble to safety, the memory of past disasters echoes in the trembling ground, but the Japanese spirit remains unbroken. In the aftermath of the earthquake, Japan wastes no time. A major tsunami warning is issued, and residents in the coastal Noto area in Ishikawa Prefecture are urged to evacuate immediately to higher ground. The urgency doesn't stop there. Tsunami warnings extend to neighboring Niigata and Toyama prefectures. The potential height of these waves? Up to 5 meters in Noto and 3 meters in Niigata and Toyama. The enormity of these figures can't be overstated, and neither can the seriousness of the situation. Public television takes on a crucial role, flashing evacuate in big, unmissable letters across screens. The message is clear: flee to higher ground. There's no room for delay, despite the harsh winter weather. The imminent threat of a tsunami trumps all other concerns. It's a sobering start to the new year, but Japan is no stranger to nature's fury. With each wave that crashes.
So you seen those cars shaking? I mean that is just nuts. Um, and it lasted a very long time. It kept going and going and going and going. I'm wondering, I'm not hearing how long it actually shook. And will tell you the damage. So it must have lasted a very long time. Boy. Um, so oddly enough, you know, at the same time we're looking at um, earthquakes, um, there was a meteor that was spotted in Birmingham, England over the weekend. And nobody really paid attention to it. And I thought, wow, how come, here we have this asteroid that's coming and going to zip real close to us, and no one's talking about meteors that could be falling from this. Um, the news just don't do us no justice. So here we go. It's not very long. So, very short clip. They just show it over and over again. You know what, folks? You know, meteor rocks are worth a lot of money. If I was those people that filmed this, I'd go find where it landed, get you a chunk, because the bigger the meteor, the bigger the price. Um, uh, well, I think they finally dumped it, Susan, the Japan's nuclear reactor. Um, there was what the first, second, and third. The third one, I think they finally let it just go into the ocean, and they said it wasn't. This was about a month ago. Let me put Susan's question up here. Um, um, and what it was is, I believe Russia and Alaska claimed and even China said they weren't going to eat none of the fish. And of course, Japan was saying that everything was okay. They tested the fish. The locals were catching, or the local fishing companies were catching, and they said they didn't find anything. But they did up, I do want to say they did up the amount um, of radiation of that's considered normal. They did that on, it was about, boy, about right about when Fukushima happened. California upped their radiation levels to safe amounts, so they put it higher. Well, they were getting higher readings, but then they were getting serious readings up around um, Canada and Alaska. So what they did is they upped theirs too. So everybody upped the radiation levels that's considered safe. And so then when they did the third one, and they finally let it melt out to the ocean and went ahead and let it go, um, they did it very quietly. That's probably why you didn't hear about it. I kept an eye on it. I keep an eye on all that stuff. Even Chernobyl. Um, the thing with Chernobyl, they're not talking about these animals that are coming out deformed, and their offsprings are coming out deformed, and that things aren't right, and there's still high levels of radiation in the air. No one ever talks about Chernobyl anymore, and I watch it. And Ukraine turned it all back over to Russia, and I think that's why Russia wants Kiev. Kiev is right, real close to the Chernobyl, and so Russia's had to take care of. Boy, I hate getting into this kind of stuff, but Russia had to take care of Chernobyl and get it back on track again and contain it. So, but when you're looking at, let's say even Japan. Now, Japan with this country, it's got the funding and the money to be able to take care of what they need to when a disaster like this happens. Where Ukraine didn't have the funding to take care of Chernobyl, it had to reach out to either Poland, the your EU, or they had to look at Russia. But of course, Russia stepped in quickly and took over Chernobyl. So I hope that answered your question. So I try to watch that stuff. Um, okay. I lost my little tab up there. So we had even a meteor. Now, where's my uh, okay, here it is. The pork at the McDonald's drive-through. Well, there's pork and pork. And yeah, pork. Pork chasing pork. Okay. What it was is the Ohio State troopers catch a loose pig at the McDonald's drive-through. Pork chasing pork. Um, oh boy, the cops aren't going to like me for that saying, huh? Uh, but as we've called, it's the '60s that started calling them pigs. Yeah, remember Helter Skelter and Charles Manson? They wrote piggies all over the wall. Pigs, yeah. So the pork chasing pork. Now, hopefully, let's see if I can get this. Um, um, so they had to corral a wayward pig. The pig recently went hog wild at McDonald's drive-thru, prompting state troopers. They were harassing. The pork was harassing people at the drive-thru. Oh, come on. It's just a pig. So the the footage shows a trooper and the pig's owner leading the defiant animal away from the fast food restaurant. Darn it, the pig's owner is heard saying on the video. The Oink King pig trotted alongside the road before being transported back to the owner. Um, he, you know what it was? It was the Happy Meals. Or was it the McDonald's French fries? What is it about McDonald's this pig wanted? We don't know. Hopefully I can get this. So, if not,
Look. 50-50就上的。
and so he was a happy little pig. I don't think he was a happy pig. He let the state trooper finally pet him. So pork chasing pork at the McDonald's and the owner saying, darn it, get over here. You see, he had a shield. What? That pig bites? Oh my goodness. Biting pigs, yeah. Anybody hear about that wave that hit California? Injured 8 people. At least 8 people were injured when a huge wave crashed over the seawall during high surf warnings. Now, I found out something interesting. William, tell me if this is true. Off the coast of Washington, they have what they call king waves. My brother-in-law mentioned that over the weekend. King high tides. There you go. To where it's only like that in I guess around Seattle and around the coast there. King high surf. And it splashes over the walls. Yes, William said yes. So, so they get high tide up there, and no one really even talks about how big it is. Now, this did kill 8 people during a high surf, and the warnings in Ventura, California. LA sure getting hammered. I wonder what LA did to piss off the greater gods, the greater God. I don't know. It depends on what you believe in, folks. So on this day, January, well, it was yesterday, 1953, country music legend Hank Williams died. He was deemed hillbilly Shakespeare. Now we know his son went on to do country music. Country boys can survive. His dad, he claims to be the country boy, and his dad claimed to be the hillbilly Shakespeare of his time. All right, so get this. People over 50, and they're saying closer to 60. This was published by JAMA that says owning a pet or like a dog or even a small dog or a dog that cuddles with you or even one for those with disabilities or those that live alone. They say getting a dog is one of more is worked more with dementia than even the early medications that they put dementia people on. It says the new study shows effect owning pets has on owners' brains. So they have studied this with PET scans, CAT scans, and MRIs to see getting a puppy or getting a dog for anybody over the age of 50 and starting to show dementia actually slowed it down. So um, they said the verbal memory and fluency among adults became better over time after the first year of having their dog. Now, they say also some people with the cats. They say the research involved 7,900 participants over the age of 50 and roughly 35% owning pets and 27% of them living alone had better brain ability, knowledge, and the dementia seemed to slow down with those with cats and dogs. They don't say anything about any other kind of pets, no llamas or camels or what they got going at the airports. So um, they say that the clinical trials will be necessary in order to confirm the study's findings, but early findings show that if your family members or loved ones have don't have a pet and they live alone, try getting them a dog and see what happens. I think it's because they got something to take care of and think about. I know my dogs, I got to think about them every moment, even now. They want in. They want in my office bad. I'd let them in, but they're destructive. They get to playing and jumping around and yeah, I got to think about them every moment. Maybe that's why my mind is clear. All right. It wasn't that bad, they say. No, let's just jump into ice cold water. Yeah, the polar bear plunge. Uh, they had record breaking numbers this year. Everybody wanted to do the plunge. Um, in fact, they were telling people to hurry up and get out of the water so they could jump in. Everyone has a different way of psyching themselves up, they say. Some of them like have a warm blanket to run into when they get out. Some of them do it just, they think it will help their health to take the plunge and then re-warm. Uh, uh, why not embrace the cold air now? One participant said. So they threw on their Santa Claus hats and they went. And most of them are in shorts and bathing suits. Yeah, take the polar bear plunge. Maybe you'll want to try it next year. Huh? Not this kid. Okay, so while the pork was chasing the the, oh boy. The pork was chasing the pork in the drive-thru at McDonald's. Tennessee police were wrangling a wayward beaver at the hospital. Oh yeah, the wayward beaver. Shame on him. Um, they got a phone call because they had a wild beaver in an unlikely place on Christmas. Bartlett Police Department said it was a bizarre incident. Um, the hospital didn't really know who to call. They didn't know whether to call animal control or call the police. But they wanted to get this beaver that was making weird noises when they tried to shoo him. And the operator said a beaver, and she said, well, if it's inside the building, and the caller said, yeah, it's inside the hospital in the lobby. Oh my God, that's so weird, she said. Let me see what I could do. Maybe they can wrangle it to get it outside. Well, humorously, they did. Um, Music played as an officer attempted to wrangle the skittish beaver into a cart with a stick. The animal kept ducking under furniture and running away from them. Yeah, it was like that pig. It wanted to be in the hospital. Maybe it was a beaver, support beaver. Just wanted to go there and help the patients. I don't know. So the beaver is given a 6 to a 10 return on the water's edge, they said. Um, oh boy. So let me see if we can get this one. Let's see if we can get this beaver.
Operator for St. Francis Hospital here in Bartlett.
Yes, sir.
I didn't know who to call, so I thought maybe you might could help me.
Okay.
She reports she wanted me to call animal control because there's a beaver in the lobby of the hospital.
A beaver?
Yeah, a beaver.
Wow. Is it inside the?
It's inside the hospital in the lobby.
That's so weird. Let me see what I can do. I'll call the lieutenant. Maybe they can wrangle it and get it outside. I don't know, but I'll see if I can get you some help. But
Okay, thank you. Thanks.
hey, Tom. St. Francis just called. There is a beaver loose in the ER lobby.
Can you not open the spot, just open the door and just kind of shush him out the door?
I don't know. It was the operator that called and said that one of the nurses called and told him to call us.
Okay. I'll get somebody to go and take a look.
50, the beaver has been given a stick.
And the beaver was wrangled. Oh my God.
And returned to the water.
We're hearing, why we hear more of this, folks? It's only because more people have phones, more people have cell phones, more people are getting pictures of this, and we need it. We need a good laugh. We need a happy moment. Okay, right before we find out the president of Skunk Rescue is charged with animal neglect. This is horrible what this guy did. This was in Florida. A president of a local animal rescue has been charged with animal neglect. He had white skunks that he was abusing and neglecting. And so in June, they got an anonymous tip, and they talked to him, and he said, he's, in charge of this rescue, and no, he's not doing anything wrong. Well, the last couple days they have went and found, they finally were able to get inside his home, which served as a headquarters for the rescue, and it was described as deplorable living conditions. Not even for a human, but even worse for these animals. So let me show you a few pictures of this. Get to the top. All right, here we go. Because this is really sad. There's where some of them were kept in the bathroom. Some were kept under counters. There's another part of the bathroom with those are white things. Those are feeding dishes with poop in them. They're empty. There's another one shows skunks and white skunks in the bathtub. Well, here's the caging system he had in the main office. There's another one. He also had puppies and kittens. It wasn't just skunks. It was a animal rescue. So he had skunks, he had dogs, and he had cats. You can have a beaver seizure. Oh boy, yeah. All right, so we're down to, let me see. Driver's ed. We never, what do we know about driver's ed? Do we have any problems there? There was a kid, he was in driver's ed. He made a U-turn 3 lanes away, then sped away with the instructor. One other kid in the car also uh, uh, um, tried to get the attention of a passing officer, waving help from the back seat. Yeah, he was driving wild and he took off and gave the officers chase. Well, he didn't pass the driver's ed and he didn't get a license too soon. Um, one instructor, really old, had totally crashed and totaled the car, trying to show the kids the proper way to make a U-turn. He retired the next day. Left. The driver's ed had to have a parent ride along one day. So one of the kids had their mom come along, and she was stuck, I'm sorry, in the back seat between two students. Um, eh, so they were going down one street in the far right lane, and the teacher said, "Turn left, left, left." So he started merging to the left lane, and he said, "No, no, no." And he said, "Why am I merging left?" He said, "Well, no, no, you can't. Turn left, turn left." He said, "No, I got to merge." So he ignored him. So the teacher starts getting frantic and says, "Left, left, left." My mom suddenly yells from the back seat, uh, "She is going left, you idiot." And, "Oh, I meant right, 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 not left." So everybody in the car was confused. The kids stopped the car and got out and looked and said, "I don't know whether to go left, right, merge left, or if my mom is right and said, go right." Oh boy. All right. Uh, okay. So, um, well, you know what? If parking's a problem, parking prohibited. Parking will be fined. Oh yeah. What about stop? Yeah, we all know how to spell stop. Well, yeah, maybe. So TP. Maybe you're supposed to throw toilet paper at the sign and then stop. Oh yeah. What about on this spot in 1766? Nothing happened. Huh. Yeah. There's the school, school hole. School hole. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It must have been the same one that did the stop sign. All right. There's a hump there, and it's not Wednesday. So, yeah, I guess they didn't know what to put. That there's a lump in the road, a rise in the road. No, it's a hump in the road. Yeah, good luck right there. You could go, uh, is this a roundabout? You could go this way or that way and this way, but everybody got to go in a great big circle. Oh, yeah. Whoa, yeah, there we go. There's a sign. There's a good stop sign. Whoa. Put Nilly underneath it and let's confuse Generation X. Or is it Z? Generation Z. Yeah, that'd confuse them. Put Nilly underneath. They'll be wondering who Nilly is. Slow students crossing. Okay. Yeah. Uh-huh. Um, the employee shortage is so bad that long-haired freaky people can now apply. Tell that to your grandkids about long-haired freaky people. Yeah, that'll really freak them out. Uh, Lost cat. There you go. He looks just like that. Yeah, that's the cat that's missing. Have you seen this cat? Maybe not. Oh, there you go. Snail crossing. Now, you're going to see the snail if you're going 50 miles an hour down that road. It's squish. They won't even do a ka-thud. Nope, nope, nope. All right, just say no. Yep, just say no to that brick wall. Private sign, do not read. Close your eyes, Karen. Karen, don't look. Don't look. This class gone 0 days without singing. We don't talk about Bruno. Okay. Read the sign. Here's your sign. You put whatever you want on it. How about whoa nilly? Uh-oh. Beware. I don't know. It's beware. All right. Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, downhill alligator ramp. Don't put grandpa in the wheelchair and let go. Yeah, there's an alligator at the bottom of the ramp. No, don't do that. Caution, pork in progress. That must be the pork that's loose at the McDonald's. And there you have it for today, folks. Um, we got a show coming up. Oh boy, in about 15 minutes. I ran way over today. Um, so come back tomorrow. We have more weather and lifestyle news and maybe pork in progress. Have a wonderful Tuesday, and we'll see you soon. Subscribe and hit that like button.